Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Now the other day I was hanging out with my girlfriend, right? She came over and I sort of thought, let's get some takeaway, right? Let's get some Pizza Hut or something. So I don't normally, I've never really gotten takeaway for myself, right? But I like it when it's with someone else. It's a bit of a social occasion, right? And I'm someone that likes to get a deal. I like to get a good deal. I like to go to the supermarket and get the stuff on the yellow label for cheap, that kind of thing. And I know all the tricks that they sort of employ to try and get people to spend more. Like, how they'll do like buy one get 50% off, and you'll think, oh, I could get two of those, but you didn't even really need one of them. That kind of thing. So we settled on Pizza Hut, right? And there was this sort of weird deal which was like buy one get one free, but there were a load of asterisks next to it. So at first I was like, oh, this is a really good deal. Buy one, get one free. And I didn't really understand the asterisks. They were like, no super pizzas or whatever. And I was like, I don't want a super pizza. I just want a normal pizza. So spent ages and I found two pizzas, like the lower priced ones, that I could get two of those for cheap. And it worked out to about 25 quid. And I needed to get 25 quid for it was like £25. If you spend more than £25, then you get 50% off. And it can't be certain pizzas. But it wasn't really clear on what those pizzas are. So I got two pizzas and it worked out to like 27 quid, and I thought, oh, that's brilliant, I can get it all for like 13, 14 quid. And then I spent ages trying to sort it out. We decided on our two pizzas, that kind of thing. And I tried to get it to go through, and it just wasn't working. It just kept not working. I wasn't really sure why, what I was doing wrong. And the longer that I spent doing this, the more of a cheapskate I look, because I'm spending all this time trying to find the deal. I spent about half an hour at this point trying to sort this out. Whenever she's sorted out takeaway and stuff, she manages to do it in like 10 minutes. I spent ages doing it. I just can't figure it out. And so after half an hour and these two pizzas not working, I realised that these two pizzas were inside the asterisk, that I'm not allowed to use these types of pizzas to use this deal that is 25% over, right? If that makes sense. So I was like, okay, great, back to square one. So I got two pizzas. And then the new two pizzas that I was allowed to get, one of them was $19.99 and the other was $19.99. So that's 40 quid, right? And somehow even that didn't work either, right? It didn't bring it down to 20 quid. It brought it down to £25, right? And like £24.90 something. And then it was like, no, you need to spend an extra £1.50 to be able to make this deal work. So I was having a look. And I was trying to find something that costs like maybe £1.99, Nothing costs £1.99. Everything is like, £5, £7, £9. So I can't just buy something that's just cheap, like £2. I have to spend an extra 6 quid. And then that ends up working itself down. So I ended up spending like £35 on fucking Pizza Hut, right? And I'm not saying it to have a moan like I'm a cheapskate or whatever. I'm having a moan because the manipulation, because they know that there's people out there that are savvy to various deals and that they want to try and get a good deal, and they know the basic tricks, and they're now using advanced tricks to trick the people who think that they can get around the system, like me. So they completely manipulated me into spending much more money than I would have otherwise spent. I didn't really want to spend more than 20 quid, and I ended up spending £35, right? Say £32, and then shipping, delivery charge, right? And it just got me thinking that there are so many ways that you can use a deal to manipulate people into getting something, I mean, we all know the basic ones, like, get 50% off of this thing, or like, oh, this thing's actually 10p off and you might have wanted it, but, oh, you can get this thing that's like 3 times the size of that other one and it's only like twice the price, that kind of thing. And it just got me thinking that there's so many ways that they can manipulate you into parting with your money. And look, I'm not saying it as if like I enjoyed the pizza, and it got to a certain point where it was a sunk cost fallacy because I just wanted the pizza at that point. I didn't want to give up on getting the pizza because I feel like I'd gotten overexcited about the idea, right? And I didn't want to let it down. So they know that people that are buying pizza in various social situations, if you're getting two pizzas, you're going to be having a pizza with someone else. And that means that you had to say to that other person, do you want to get a pizza? Or that person had to say to you, do you want to get a pizza? And you're both getting yourself psyched up about the idea of having a pizza. It's a nice treat. It's something fun. I like having a pizza. It's nice. It's an enjoyable activity. It's much more enjoyable than going to work, And I spent £35 But I think at a certain point, it wasn't so much about the pizza itself. It was about not wanting to disappoint her, right? Because even though she would have been fine with it, it's just sort of like they've gotten it into my brain. They've managed to make me spend so much time that because I've spent this much time, I want to finish what I started, right? They know how to get you. Even if you think that you're smarter than them, they know how to get you. And I think this is a prime example. And it just frustrated me because I got to a certain point where I didn't really even want the pizza anymore. I wanted it, but I didn't want it. I wanted it, but I didn't want to spend that much money, and I was sick of spending so much time trying to find the pizza because I spent like, once you're doing this for like 45 minutes, you just look like a total cheapskate, you know? And I don't want to look like a cheapskate. I want to look like, you know, someone who's got their shit together. I want to look like someone who's, you know, not going to penny pinch at every opportunity. And I like a deal. I like to get a deal. I could afford the 35 quid for the pizza. But you know what? I can afford lots of things that cost £35 that give me more value for money. You know, you can get 15 of those same kind of pizzas from Lidl and then just put them in the freezer and then call it an extra like £5 in you know, gas for the hob, or for the oven, sorry. So I just found it interesting was all. I just kind of wanted to share that little story. We ended up having the pizza. I got a margarita, she got a pepperoni, and we got some side. I think we got like garlic bread with cheese on it, so it's basically just another fucking pizza. Which, you know, and those are probably the cheap ones. It's probably so cheap for them to manufacture a garlic bread with a bit of cheese on it. Because garlic bread, you see it at Lidl, it's like 35 pence. And everything else now is like more than £1, but garlic bread is still cheap. So they're obviously making a killing off of that. And they're making so much money off of all these things. And I don't know. I tried to get a good deal, I tried to be savvy, and they ended up being savvy back at me, and I ended up paying more money than I would have liked. And it all kind of comes together in that ordering food is quite a social occasion, right? Most people who get food, who get food delivered to them, it's a social occasion, right? And they know that other people are sat there whilst you're ordering the food, they're sitting there excited for the food. And the only thing that they want you to do is make sure you stick with them, right? And if you've been in their integrated system, ordering this stuff and figuring out the deals for like half an hour, you're invested because you thought originally that you were going to get such a good deal, and you end up not getting such a good deal at the end of it. And they know how to get you. They just know how to get you. And that's simply it. That's simply the case. They know the tricks of the trade, man. They've been in the trade for a long, long time. And, you know, I got done. But you know what? I had a nice time. We had a nice pizza. I enjoyed it, you know. I think we watched an episode of The Simpsons. I think we watched Treehouse of Horror 2. And it was a good time. I enjoyed the one with the monkey's paw. And I wish that we wouldn't have to have quite so many of these deals. Can we not just have a cheap pizza, right? Without all this bullshit, without having to do... It's basically haggling, but on the internet. Just endless, but like official. You know, it's not just like I can go to Pizza Hut and just go, yeah, you couldn't do it for 15 quid, could you? It's not like that. And it just frustrates me as all. Anyway, my train's here, so I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm sorry if that one was a bit all over the place, but let me know your thoughts. Let me know what kind of stories you've had with a similar thing. Have you gotten ripped off because you've gotten yourself so invested into getting a thing originally and you were trying to work out the deals? What's it like? A lot of you are American, so let me know the American equivalent of all this. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you again very shortly. And yeah, I love you all. You're all fantastic. I hope you all don't get ripped off going to fucking Pizza Hut and all these various places, because they're all bollocks. So yeah.
Just a bit of a drop. There you go.
Please remember to take all your personal items with you when you leave the train.